Hello everyone! In this video, we will discuss history of Etsy. Etsy, Incorporated is an American e-commerce company focused on handmade or vintage items and craft supplies. These items fall under a wide range of categories, including jewelry, bags, clothing, home decor and furniture, toys, art, as well as craft supplies and tools. Items described as vintage must be at least 20 years old. The site follows in the tradition of open craft fairs, giving sellers personal storefronts where they list their goods for a fee of $0 and 20 cents per item. The site was launched in 2005, a small company composed of Robert Callen, Chris Maguire, and Haim Shopify. The initial version had taken 2.5 months to build. Later, Jared Tarbell joined the team. Former NPR executive Maria Thomas was promoted to CEO and left Etsy in December 2009. Robert Callen resumed his role as CEO from December 2009 until July 2011. Investors include Sean Meenan, Albert Wenger, Spencer and Judson Ain, Union Square Ventures, and founders of Flickr and Delicious. Callen said that he named the site Etsy because he wanted a nonsense word, because I wanted to build the brand from scratch. I was watching Fellini's 8.5 and writing down what I was hearing. In Italian, you say Etsy a lot. It means, oh yes, actually it's sì. And in Latin and French, it means, what if? In Greek, Etsy means just because. In Etsy's first year, it attracted attention for frequently adding new tools and functionality to the site to help sellers gain exposure and traffic, including Adobe Flash-based visualizations and a taxonomy of categories with tags. Etsy passed $1.7 million in sales in May 2007. On July 29, Etsy had its 1 millionth sale and anticipated its 2 millionth sale would occur mid-December 2007. In November 2007, buyers spent $4.3 million purchasing 300,000 items for sale on Etsy, an increase of 43% from October 2007. In June 2007, it expected to be profitable by the fall. But in December 2007, it was not a profitable company. In January 2008, Etsy received an additional $27 million in funding from Union Square Ventures, Hubert Burda Media, and Jim Breyer. In February 2008, trouble at eBay, including a strike by some dissatisfied sellers, brought speculation that Etsy could be an increasing competitor. At the same time, however, some Etsy sellers expressed discontentment with how Etsy was handling complaints about stores. At the time, a comparison of the two websites included complaints that on Etsy, items are difficult to find, the interface feels slow, and the buying and selling process is United States-centric. Other reviewers enjoyed using Etsy's specialized search options, including the Shop Local tool. In July 2008, Rob Callen ceded the position of CEO to Maria Thomas. Some longtime Etsy employees left the company in August 2008, including founders Haim Shopify and Chris Maguire. In September 2008, Etsy hired Chad Dickerson, who formerly worked at Yahoo, as Chief Technology Officer. The company acknowledged concerns about vendors selling other people's work as their own. In April 2009, users organized an Etsy Day promotion on Twitter that brought extra attention to the site. As of May 2009, it had approximately 60 employees and sales of $10 to $13 million per month, possibly boosted by consumer interest in cheaper and more personalized goods due to the United States recession. In March 2010, Callen said that the company is profitable and plans to go public, though not until at least next year. Financial statements required to be filed by Etsy in order to go public show that due to reinvestment of annually increasing gross profits in marketing, product development, and management, the company has not reported a net profit as of 2015. In December 2010, Etsy said it had 7 million registered users and that it would continue to focus on a personal community feel as it grows larger, as that is part of what distinguishes it from eBay. In March 2011, Etsy introduced a Facebook-style social networking system called People Search to help buyers and sellers connect with each other and become friends. By doing so, Etsy made any past purchase with feedback easily searchable, which caused many complaints. Etsy then made changes to the site to better guard information regarding users' purchases. In July 2011, Chad Dickerson, CTO since September 2008, became CEO upon the firing of Rob Callen. Later CTOs were Kellen Elliott McCrea and John Allspaw. In April 2012, a newspaper article about Etsy covered its fraud detection efforts. Etsy had been criticized in the past for inconsistently applying its rules about items having to be handmade. Later in April 2012, the writer of Regretsy, a popular blog, did independent research into a specific featured vendor, Ecologica Malibu, and found evidence to accuse the vendor of being a reseller, which would be against the Etsy terms of service. The vendor asserted that it was in line with the terms of service, stating that the shop had simply failed to identify itself as a collective that included the work of several individuals, and many Etsy community members posted on the Etsy forum expressing unhappiness with the action or lack of action taken by Etsy. As of June 2012, the vendor's account is no longer active on Etsy. In May 2012, Etsy raised $40 million in Series F funding and announced the company had become a B Corp. This B Lab certification lapsed in 2017. Etsy's 2012 funds went towards expanding Etsy in international markets, including France, Germany, and Australia. On October 1, 2013, Dickerson held an online town hall meeting to announce that Etsy would now permit factory-made goods and dropshipping, provided the seller either designed or hired designers of the items, disclosed to Etsy their factory, disclosed that they used factories, and took ownership of the process. In that meeting and afterward, Etsy claimed the meaning of the word handmade should be redefined to encompass factory-made. At the time, the acquisition was the company's largest.